lives one day at a time. Kimmy Kim and Elations Radio. They're here to get your day going fine. Kimmy Kim and Elations Radio. Kimmy Kim and Elations Radio. Kimmy Kim and Elations Radio. And here's your host, Miss Kim Robinson.
Living life on the edge of expectation. Ever since my life took on a new direction, I've been living life contrary to condemnation. Because God, you had mercy on me. You revealed your son in me. Opened my eyes and now I see. To live my life more abundantly. I'm walking by faith and not by sight, in your power and not my own might, and I live to die, so you can increase and I decrease. You're wonderful, yes you are, tremendous, yes you are, exceptional, yes you are, and I see, but I see so differently, and I know that if
Hey, welcome everyone. Welcome to today's show from Powerless to Powerful with your host, Cynthia Newell of Dare to Dream Spiritual Life Coaching Practice. I'm so happy that you have chosen to spend your Saturday afternoon with me. Just a little bit about who I am. I am Cynthia Newell, and I am a spiritual life coach, and I support clients who feel powerless, and I teach them how to move powerfully forward in their lives to the life that they've always imagined living. And why do I do this? Because I know what it feels like to feel as though you're optionless. There's, slam doors in your face and you just can't get to where you're going. And so God has gifted me to be able to overcome and embrace adversity. And so now I get the divine pleasure to teach others, to train others. And I do that through a lot of different avenues: live events, trainings, workshops, classes, seminars, webinars. And so I am honored to be able to equip people with the necessary tools that they need to live a life that they look forward to waking up to. And so I want to thank you again for being here today, and thank Elation Gospel Network for having me, for opening up this platform for me to share my message. Now, this month, we are highlighting young men in our community who are doing awesome things. The idea came for this show after I had watched Ava DuVernay's documentary titled The 13th, or titled 13th. And in that documentary, it deals with the mythology of Black criminality and just the criminal justice system, Black men and how they're treated in this country still, the racial inequality that we deal with as African Americans in this country. The documentary, it made me think about two things. One, how our society really hasn't changed much when it comes to the treatment of our African American men. And another thing, how the media, how they do a really good job in feeding us poor images of African American men, through some of a lot of the depictions that we see in the news, the stories that they run. And, it really leaves us sometimes as people, colored people, African American people, people of color, it makes us feel, like we don't offer much, which we know that we do. And so initially I became kind of upset when I started to think about what I had watched, and I think I watched another documentary about the Black Panthers, and just the different things that we as a people have gone through down through the decades, and through our existence here in the United States. And I wanted to make a positive difference. And so I asked God, how can I do that? How can I positive difference for the many men and families of African American men who feel hopeless, who feel defeated, who feel powerless? And the idea came to find African American men in our communities that defied the odds, that rose above the noise, who used the struggle to fuel their dreams and life visions. And so I didn't have to look far to find Mr. Tony Thompson, a 24-year-old motivational speaker and entrepreneur who travels the world sharing powerful messages from his book, Why Wait? 5 Secrets to How You Can Unlock Success the Fast Way. Now, this passionate voice for the people, he awakens the greatness. He awakens the greatness within and teaches us how to defeat obstacles that arise while we're on the path of accomplishment. And so we're going to be talking to Tony today to pick his brain about the will to win. What does it take to have a will to win? How do you, someone that feels as though the world is just stacked up against them, how do they, still have a will to win when it just looks as though there's no chance for them to win? And so, Tony, I want to thank you so much for agreeing to be a part of this show, my podcast, for sharing your time with me today and just showing up in the world the way that you show up. Thank you so much for that.
No, absolutely. Like I expressed to you before, first of all, you already got me hyped. Like you already got me excited. I'm already ready to just let loose. But I'm definitely humbled. I'm definitely humbled to be on your show. It means so much to me. I love that you are spreading positive messages. More importantly than that, like you're doing kingdom business. And I love it. You're spreading hope, you're spreading love, and you're showing, like, you're giving a new representation of what it means to be a black woman in America. So that's inspirational and powerful, even for me. So if we just shut it down right now, we don't even talk the rest of the interview. I'm good because you're doing it, and again, it means a lot to even be having this conversation with you on your podcast. So thank you for even having me.
Yes, you are welcome. I appreciate you being here. So how I came across Tony, I was talking to a guy that does photography, and he had mentioned that one of his friends that did some videography for you, and he said, I got a copy of his book, in the car. I wanna show you his book. And so he showed me the book, and I said, can I have this book? And he gave it to me. And man, when I tell you, I started reading your book, and your book is so enlightening. Like it's funny. It's very down to earth. Like if you all have not gotten a copy of Tony's book, I don't want to dig in too much first, but I want to give you an opportunity to tell the people, those that don't know you, who you are and what you do and your why behind what you do.
Sure. So so now I know the book says 24. I'm 25 now, which is really cool. Got another year under my belt. But I'm 25 years old, motivational speaker, author, entrepreneur. And like you mentioned, I go around and I try to basically impact and influence as many lives as possible. Impact and influencing them in finances, impact and influence them socially, emotionally, impact them and influence them spiritually as well. And so it was crazy when I first started speaking full time. When I first got going, I was trying to figure out, like, what's going to be my niche, who's going to be my group of people that I'm going to really, really touch. And unbelievably, what I started seeing and what God really showed me, honestly, was that I had the gift to reach all races, ages, and socioeconomic status. And so while youth is kind of my main focus, it's not my only focus. So in this world of speaking, already I've touched. I mean, I remember a speaking engagement where it was in a park, and I had a 70-year-old lady come up to me after it was over in tears and started sharing with me that she needed to come hear me speak today. Like, she was blessed by what I said, and she's going to take my points and my tips and apply them to her life. So it's like, at that moment, I saw, like, if I can reach a 70-year-old who has way more experience in life than I have, then that means that I shouldn't limit myself to just a certain age or just a certain group or to a certain race. So, again, I've been fortunate to be able to touch many lives across the board in different cities and different places and different environments. It's been cool. It's been really cool. And like you mentioned, the book has allowed me to go into some spaces as well that I probably shouldn't even be in. It's afforded me the opportunity to do some things with some organizations and some businesses that probably wouldn't have happened if I didn't pen that book. So yeah, that's a little bit about me. My why is, honestly, I literally wake up every single morning. First and foremost, I gotta say my why is honestly to glorify God in everything I do. But even outside of that, from that trickles down my why of I literally want to impact as many lives as I can. Like it's really that simple. I don't wake up to just like do things for Tony. I don't wake up to just look out for Tony. Like I literally am grinding and working and getting after it every single day from morning till it's time to go to bed. And I'm thinking, scratching my head, trying to figure out how can I change lives, how can I add value to somebody's life every single day, even if I'm not speaking, because I label myself as a motivational speaker. But at the same time, like I have numbers in my phone of young men who I can call and just have a talk, check on them, make sure they're doing okay. Or I got homeboys and friends who I can just call and be like, hey, what's going on in your life? Can I? Do you need any encouragement? Do you need any inspiration? Like I got you. And so that's my whole thing. Like every single day, I make sure like I am impacting lives.
Yeah.
And that's honestly my why. That gets me going. That gets me motivated. I want to basically give more than I receive, give more than I take in. Like if nobody ever gives me anything, I'm okay with it. Like as long as I can pour into as many people as I can, then I'm satisfied. So I think that's definitely something God has placed on the inside of me, and I'm just honestly trying to spread that as much as I can. So that I think that's my fundamental why as to why I do what I do.
Right. You said a lot in that. I love what you said about, when you first started out, you were trying to find your target niche. And, when you're out here in the world or society standard of business, they tell you to get that target audience and market. But I love how you said, with kingdom work, kingdom business, it's all of God's people, whomever God tells you to speak to or talk to, that's who you're going to minister to. And then I love the story that you shared about the 70-year-old, because, a lot of times, and tell me if you wrestle with this, or maybe you didn't, but, someone may feel like, what I have to offer someone that's twice my age or 3 times my age, Did you ever deal with that mental? Did it ever just shoot through your brain and maybe you shot it down with the word of God, but did it ever be an issue for you in any kind of way, or no?
Absolutely. No, I'll be honest with you. Absolutely, it did. Honestly, being transparent, because it's this thing of, I'm 25. I've experienced a little bit, but how can I really add value to a 50-year-old or 40-year-old or 60-year-old? How can I really add value to that person's life? And let's even step outside of age. How can I add value to somebody who is like, from the projects? You know what I'm saying? How can I go into their world and really add value to them, and really pick them up? And so again, what honestly, what I started seeing was people really just want somebody who's going to like sincerely and genuinely love them and care for them. Like that's really what it comes down to. Like somebody like that 70-year-old, for example. I know she's experienced way more than I've experienced. But in that moment of me speaking, when she heard me speak, I know she heard and felt the love in the words as I was speaking. I know she felt and heard and really felt and heard the care as I was speaking, like in my delivery, in my words, and what I was saying. She felt it. Like she felt it. It's spiritual, she felt it. And so even though she has been through way more than I've gone through, because she heard that love in my word, it like attached her to me. It attached her to those words. So she felt comfortable coming up to me after it was over, sharing me. In the same way, like, young men, again, who have, like young men in high school right now that have experienced way more than I've experienced, have gone through way more than I've gone through. Like, I was like, how can I add value to, a young man who's, single parent. I had both parents come from the project. I was, suburban. A young man who, used to be in a gang. Like, I never experienced that. But again, like when I started getting with young men, it wasn't a matter of me trying to figure that out. It literally, like, just organically happened. The connection organically happened. This dude right here, he's not too much older than me. This guy cares about me. I can honestly say that this guy right here cares about me. Let me listen to what he has to say and see how I can apply those tips and those principles and those values to my life. So yeah, the question I did at first, I was like, how am I gonna? But again, God does this thing when you had this anointing on you, and He just sends you in places where sometimes you like, man, how's it gonna happen? And He's like, Tony, just relax, just do what you need to do, handle your business.
Yeah.
I'm gonna organically make the relationship go, and you'll be okay. So.
Yeah. You know, and it's something about when you are walking in the anointing and you are walking in what you were created to do, when you're doing that and you enjoy doing it, like it's not a burden, you enjoy doing it, it satisfies that universal need for love. And so that's what you offer to people with your passion, with your relatability. I don't know if that's a word, but I'm going to make it a word. But with your, you know, with your honesty, you know, because we as a society have really reached a point where we're tired of the phonies. We're tired of the false promises. We want the truth. And sometimes, like I do similar what you do. When you are transparent, sometimes you can feel that vulnerability can make you feel really naked, but when you have someone come up and they thank you with tears in their eyes and they tell you, how much they appreciate you sharing, you see in that moment it's all worth it. It's all worth it, and God has you. And so, I appreciate what you're doing. It's so much, that I want to say to you. But one of the things that I loved, the story that you shared in chapter 4, where you talked about higher expectations, and you were sharing in that chapter about your training for Division I college. And when you look back, you talked about how you could have pushed through and you could have continued on with that training. And it's something about the wisdom that retrospect it offers to us. And so when you think about that situation, how has that been instrumental in you pushing forward, with other things that you're wanting to accomplish in the times where it gets really tough and you really don't, you get questionable, you get weary, how have you used that experience to help you keep going forward?
Yeah. So it's funny you asked. My wife and I, we do these workshops with different organizations and schools, and within these workshops, one of the things is basically talking about learning or gaining wisdom from your failures. Mm-hmm. Because I feel like a lot of times people take a failure as something that is like permanent. Like as soon as I fail, there's no way anything good could come out of this. Like as soon as something bad comes, there's no way that something good could come out of this. And so my approach to anything, whether it's something that comes that is unexpected and it hits me hard, or whether it's something where I actually bring upon myself, like I make a mistake and I let my weaknesses sometimes get the best of me. I always, 100% of the time, like I may sit there and ponder for a minute and I'm like down, but I look, 5 minutes, after 5 minutes of being down, it's like, Tony, let's get it. Like it's like you sitting down, you laying down, you sitting in self-pity. That's not going to fix the problem. You crying over spilled milk, that's not going to fix the problem. The problem is not going to fix itself. Let's get over the hump. And so just in that situation that you were, that story that you were referring to, and to even take it back to those college years, I literally, it was crazy. So I went, I had a mindset. I just got to take you the story. I had a mindset going into college, like I'm going to play Division I basketball. Like I'm gonna make the team. I'm going to Stanford University. I'm gonna make the team. I got there and got a no. I went and talked to the coach and got a no. And that hurt me, Cynthia. That hurt me. Like somebody tells you no, pain.
Right.
Like I was crushed. And so when he told me no, I had a choice to make. Like you said, I had a choice. I could either like shut down and quit, or I could say I'm gonna take this no and you can put it in my fire, and that fire is gonna make my training for the next year so hard that when next year comes, I'm going back in and he got to give me a yes. So he told me no. I trained as hard as I possibly could, and then I came back again the following year. And guess what he told me? No. Told me no again.
Really?
Same coach told me no. Hey, Coach Tony Thompson, I'm coming to you again. Like, got any spots? No. And something crazy happened that third time. Honestly, that afforded me the opportunity to go the third time. Is they fired the entire coaching staff. Going into my junior year of college, they fired the entire coaching staff. And literally what I did when he told me no again, I had another choice to make. Quit, like after that no, or take that no and put it in my fire to keep grinding. And that's exactly what I did. And I came back the following year and asked the new coach, and that new coach gave me my yes. And told me come out and work out with the team, and we'll go from there. And long story short, ended up becoming an official walk-on for Sanford's men basketball team. So all that to say, it really is something when I hear people talk about, I ask them, they say they want to do certain things and achieve certain goals, and then they say they want certain things. And then, they're like, I don't feel like doing it. Tony, is so tough. And then you ask them, like, how long have you been doing it? And then they give you this answer, like, not that long. And I'm like, I always tell people, don't give up, especially too early. Why are you quitting too early? You haven't even put sweat, blood, and tears enough blood, sweat, and tears in the game to even call it quits. Like, you got to keep going. I guarantee you, that if you just keep going, that door is gonna open. If you just kick that door has to open. Especially if you have the skill set, and that's that's your purpose and that's your passion. And so for me, again, getting back to that story, those no's got me excited. Like those no's, like I don't know about you, Cynthia, but when I hear somebody tell me no, or when I hear somebody tell me wait a minute, or when I hear somebody say I'm gonna do something for you and it never happens, I get excited. Like I get excited. Like I'm the opposite. When I hear a no, I don't get down. I get excited, especially if I know I did everything I possibly could to prepare. Then I know, like, all right, it's just not the right time. But you don't understand. I'm coming right back with a bang. And so for me, again, going back to the higher expectations, no's just take my expectation level to another level. It just increases it every time. A person tells me no, and I train harder, I work harder, I prepare harder because I know my opportunity is coming. So
that's right. And then you when you put some skin in the game, you not so easily. You ain't gonna let the thing go that easily. When you put your time, your energy, in it. So that is perfect for what it means to have a will to win mentality, to get to that place where a no is fuel. It's not where you make the choice to go sit down and say, like, don't nobody have permission, or they don't have the answer or the ability to stop your dream. Only you can give them that, And so no is not a shut door. It's just their answer, but you still get to decide if you're going to be successful, if you're going to have what it is that you're desiring to have, or be who it is that God has called you to be. And so, not giving up. And a lot of times what happens is that momentum, you have that inertia when you start, but you don't maintain it. And so you start off running real fast, but you don't have the ingredients to maintain that speed. And I think that that's where a lot of us, we get caught up, and so we have to put some skin in the game. You have to, put some time, some energy, some effort in there so that when you have those moments of no's or what looks like a shut door, it's not really that. It's just a hurdle for you to jump over. You know,
that's all,
yeah.
That's all. I want to say this real quickly, if it's all right with you. My goal in this speaking, and I know it's going to happen, by about 30 years old, I'll be the best motivational speaker in the entire world. And so my thing is, what's crazy right now is that even right now in my climb to that, I've right now, people, listen, Thursday, Friday, I'm sending out emails. I mean, I'm emailing schools and colleges like crazy with, my email address and my, not my email address, my website, professional documentation that they can review. I'm coming up with my best, and I'm getting some no's, or I'm getting some maybe, let's wait, or I'm getting some I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And so what's crazy is this. What I learned back in college, that like how you brought that story back in college, if I would not have gone through that in college, that wouldn't have gave me the mindset I have right now.
Right.
Going towards being the best motivational speaker, even in the midst of people currently saying like I don't know or no or not right now type deal. So you again, it's that thing of learning from past experiences, learning from failures, and applying them to your future. So yeah.
That's right. So I have some more questions, but I just want to put this out there for you all. If you want to win a free copy of Tony's book, go to my website. I love movies, and so I have a movie trivia question that I want to see if you know. And the question is on the website, but I'm going to read it. It says, in what movie did a broke and homeless guy turn his life around and become the head of his own brokerage firm? And so if you know what the title of that movie is, go to my website, CynthiaNewell.com, and, find the podcast link and submit your answer there. And then you're going to be entered into a chance to win a free copy of Tony's book. Because if you're trying to do anything in your life, whether it's lose weight, build a business, have a thriving marriage, get your finances in order, anything, you need his book on your desk, in your face. You need to read his book. It's going to change your life. And I haven't read the whole book, just the parts that I've read. It's been very informational. I mean, like I said, he's funny, and it's real talk. And when you can identify real talk and relate to stuff, you grasp it, a lot easier. And so even if you don't win the book, support this young man who's doing great things for the kingdom of God. Go to his website. I'm going to give you a chance to give your website, but support Tony, support him, and sow financial seeds into him, because it, as an entrepreneur myself, it takes money to build your dream. And so if you want to sow a seed, buy some books for some males or people that could benefit from it, please do so. But how can people get in connection with you? How can they buy your book and connect with you, Tony?
Yeah, so for anybody, so my social media, all of my social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, all of that is at Tony Thompson STL. All of that at Tony Thompson STL. And then as far as my website is www.tonythompsonstl.com. And so for the book, if you go to my website and you click on the store tab, you'll see on the store tab I have Y-Weight wristbands, and then you'll see the book that you can purchase off of my site. And it was really cool when I first came out with the book. I had never, did any e-commerce type stuff, shipping order. That was really cool. My wife, shout out to my wife, Christina. She's been dope. She actually, just to throw this out here, she actually edited my book the day before the day after our wedding. She actually edited the whole book, which is really cool. Yeah, she's a crazy support system. But no, so she, long story short, again, going back to how you purchase it, website, store tab, click on the store tab, and you can order there, and we'll ship the book directly to you. I'll sign it as well and leave a personalized personalized message. So.
Awesome. And shout out to your wife, Christina, too. I was just telling my husband, I just finished a vision board workshop for couples, and then, of course, I have my podcast, and my husband said, oh, my God, you got both of those on the same day? And I said, yeah, babe, I'm sorry. I'll be more mindful of my schedule. But I told him, I said, I appreciate you. We have a 1-year-old daughter together. He's such a great father. He gives me the time that I need to do my work, build my business. And with podcasting and all the other branches of business, it's a lot that goes into it, especially when you have been called to excellence. You don't just want to put anything out there, And so shout out to Christina and all the spouses that are supporting, their visionary spouses who are out here doing God's work and, who may fall a little short of their honey's time, and just thank you so much for your sacrifice. So I just want to tell your wife, thank you for that as well. But I want to talk about something really quickly. Okay. I love your principle in your book where you talk about fall in love with adversity.
That's my favorite too.
Oh my goodness. I said I had to swallow hard because it's like, a lot of times we running away from it. We don't want to deal with it, but, and it's a character builder. It shows you what you're made of. But, in our society, adversity is often looked at as an unjust punishment, and so what steps would you advise someone to take to transition from a victim, so from a powerless mentality to a victorious mentality? So you got a young man who has the pressures of, our society on him. He feel like he don't have any options, and so he feel like his only option is to be about that life, that thug life, in the streets. And how would you mentor him? What would you say to him about how he can transition from that powerless mentality to a more mentality?
Yeah. So for me, part of mentorship for me is really, I think what it should be for everybody is a mentor is basically, the first thing a mentor to me has to do is build that trust with the mentee. Mm-hmm. I cannot reach anybody that doesn't trust me. If I just come right in and start telling that young man what he needs to do and what he doesn't need to do, he's going to look at me like I'm crazy. Like, hey, man, get up out my face. You don't know me like that. Like, go on somewhere. And so for me, when I'm mentoring, the first thing I do is just talk. I just talk and listen, and like talk and listen. Like it's all discussion. Just talk, ask questions, and listen. Like what are you going through? What are you facing? What is it that you're experiencing? And so for a young man like you just brought up and mentioned, as he tells me, hey Tony, I'm going through this, going through that. Right off the bat, I'm just like, okay, I'm just taking everything in. I'm taking everything in. I'm building the relationship, building the bond, building the trust, and then maybe after a couple of times and talking to him and getting a little closer with him so he understands, like, all right, this guy isn't going anywhere. Then from there, that's when I really, seriously pour into him. So, for example, I saw a young man, my wife and I went to the gym this morning, and so there's a young man he just graduated from Jennings High School, and he heard me speak at Jennings and ended up, after it was over, was like, hey, man, like, I got to get a copy of your book, and I want to just connect with you. Again, like we said earlier, he felt that love. And so from there, like, I just, at a little bit at a time, I didn't throw everything at him at once. A little bit at a time, I would just ask him questions. I went to his graduation, and we took a picture together. I talked to him a little bit there. We talked a tad bit today in the gym. And so today I told him, hey, man, I'm going to hit you up. We're going to get lunch next week. And then when we get lunch, I'm going to pour a lot into him. And so what I tell these young men, and going back to, because you kind of were touching adversity, Like that point of falling in love with adversity, that is a foreign idea. That's not a fun idea. That's not the cool idea. That's not the hey, let's. Oh man, I love that point. When I say that, whenever I speak and say that point, I get the crazy looks. I get the looks like this dude. Hey, where did you get this dude? Who booked him?
Right.
But then when I explain it, then people's heads turn and they start shaking their head and affirmation of like, okay, I see it. And so what I really mean by that point is not that adversity is something that is not like, for example, someone that gets cancer or gets a chronic illness. My point is not like, hey, celebrate that chronic illness. Like, yes, you should be excited.
Right.
That's not at all what I'm saying. More so what I'm saying is let's look at that illness and figure out how that can basically open you up to new opportunity, a new world about yourself that you maybe have never discovered. Like you mentioned, it shows your character. And what it does is it gives you an opportunity to build on your weaknesses. So, like, in those times of adversities, you literally learn the places where you're vulnerable, the places where you're struggling, the places that need to be fixed, the places that need to be, check this out, even the places that need to be healed. Like, it's the places where you need to heal. Like, oh, man, you know what, maybe I'm not over that situation because this is so. So in falling in love with adversity, that's why I'm a fan of it. I don't run from adversity. And then another thing I don't do is run through adversity. That's another thing. Like you can it's two things like people tend to do. They either run away from it or run through it. I like to walk through it. I like to just literally just pace myself and walk. I'm not gonna run because if I run, that means that I might miss out on all of the wisdom that I need to take in and all of the things I need to see that need to be fixed or need to be fixed in my life. And so for me, that's my message to a lot of these young men that I meet with. I tell them don't run from the fact, like that same young man, he was like, Tony, I can relate to your story, like single mom, even though I wasn't a single mom, he was more so referring to the story about my dad, but like he was telling me like he told me my dad is, not in my life, and it's just me and mom's, and it's tough at times. And so for me, like, he asked me like, what can I do? Like, how do I navigate this? And we actually walked, which is really cool. This is what the book gets this book allows me to walk through it with these young men. So literally that young man, he and I went through the entire book together. And we were talking about the chapters and we're able to he added value to me and I added value to him, so it's really cool. But long story short, whenever I talk about that chapter and whatever I'm talking about falling in love with adversity to these young men and to whoever's listening, it gets the the heads turning. But when I explain it, people like, okay, that's something I need to apply to my life. So that's my favorite point. That is my favorite out of all my 5 principles. That's my favorite principle: fall in love with adversity.
Yeah, it definitely makes a difference. So Tony, what's next? What's next for you? Where you speaking at next in St. Louis or on the globe, the map, not the globe, but the map? Where you gonna be?
Yeah. So for me, I'm actually my next engagement is actually next week. I'm speaking at I don't know if you heard of Epworth. Epworth is like So you've heard of them before?
Yes, on Natural Bridge.
I believe I think they may be on Natural Bridge. I'm not sure. I actually need to know that. But they may be. But no, I'm speaking there. I'm speaking to their teams and bringing books with me, of course. And we're gonna do that. In terms of for the rest of the summer, I'm honestly working on a big. I mean, the biggest project that I've ever done, that I've ever been a part of. I'm working on it, something for the fall. That I wish I could come out and talk and really tell you like the title of what it's gonna be. But I other businesses and corporations and other people involved, and so we're waiting to announce it. But it's gonna be really, really big, and I'm definitely going to reach out to you to make sure you know about it and everybody else will know about it. But I'm literally just been taking all of my time and working on this project because it's so big that it's literally gonna take the entire summer to prepare for it and to get ready for it. So it's gonna be to the level of, you know, I'm believing that lives will be changed, like the whole city, you know, will be hit by not just different areas. I'm talking about the entire city. So I've actually been preparing for that, meeting with a lot of people, different organizations and different schools and administrators. So it's going to be really, really cool. And that's something that I'm going to be announcing. I'm going to be announcing soon. But, yeah, that's what I've been working on now. And in terms of behind the scenes, I do this mentoring thing is for me 24/7. So I'm always checking on young men. I'm always checking on my wife. She's always checking on young ladies, and we're doing that daily. That's
good. Well, I am so elated to have had an opportunity to talk with you and to have you be a part of, this podcast, playing into the vision that God has for my life. Just thank you so much for sharing your time and just your words of wisdom. Thank you for showing up in your life as the giant that you are. I just speak continual blessings, over your life, over your finances, everything that you all have going on. And I definitely want to stay connected with you. So please do, when you're able to freely share what you got going on, send me a message via Facebook or email, and I would love to support you because that's what I'm all about, So you all, this has been a wonderful conversation with Mr. Tony Thompson. He is a motivational speaker. He is a voice for the people. He is just a really great, down-to-earth guy, and he spent part of his Saturday afternoon here on my podcast. Now, if you missed the entire show, you can get the replay on my website, which is cynthianewell.com, or you can go on the Facebook event, and I'm going to post the link there, and so you can listen to the replay. If you have questions for Tony, let's have a conversation after the show is over. You can post it on that event page, and he'll take some time out. I'm just mapping out your time for you. I'm sorry, but if you have questions, okay, good. Then shoot them to Tony. If you would like to invite him to come speak at your organization or your church, or you have a youth conference or something going on, business, hit him up on his website. Give your website again, Tony.
It is www.tonythompsonstl.com. TonyThompsonSTL.com.
Okay. Well, I have really enjoyed talking to you. I mean, your wisdom is just beyond your years. Just keep doing what you're doing for the body, and just thank you.
I don't mean to cut you off, but I gotta say this if you don't mind.
Yes. No.
You are an excellent interviewer. Like excellent. I gotta give you because I've been in some interviews, and it's been some struggles. Mm-hmm. I love guys, anybody who's listening. Cynthia was highly professional in the way she approached, trying to connect with me and get this set up. I had all the information that I needed. There was constant communication. And I just want to say I believe that this podcast is going to take off on a whole nother level. I want to tell you, because I'm a motivational speaker, so I had to do it. I just want to tell you, Cynthia, just keep going. Keep going. Do not stop. Don't look back on days where if one person is listening or if 100 people are listening, just continue. You used the word before. Just continue to do excellent professional work, and I guarantee you, I promise you, the unbelievable, abundant doors of overflow of next level of like your own like TV show. I don't know what it is you're praying for, whatever you believe for. I honestly believe that they will come to pass. And like how Ephesians 3, I won't even try to go here. Ephesians 3:20, now to him who was able to do exceedingly abundantly all that he asked to think. Like I know it's gonna happen in your life and in your business, in your podcast, in your life coaching. So again, thank you so much. Like I sincerely mean this. Thank you so much for allowing me to have this conversation with you. Like you probably think like it blessed, like this blessed me. I guarantee you more than it blessed you. I'm hyped right now. Like I'm excited. So seriously, thank you so much for having me. And I'm like it's gonna be cool to watch you like take off to that next level. And the fact that I can now say I know these Cynthia, like this is gonna be cool. So thank you so much.
Yeah. Likewise, you're gonna have me all teary-eyed and stuffy, and they're not gonna understand what I'm saying because I'm gonna be crying. No, but I really appreciate that because from one entrepreneur to another, it can get pretty tough out here. But I just keep my faith, focused like flint, just set like flint, on what God has called me to do. And I know and I trust that God is going to continue to provide, even when things get a little backed up or overdue or whatever. I believe that God is going to provide. And I'm just a conversationalist. I just love to have good, juicy conversations and love to learn. And so that's what makes the interviewing part really easy for me. At the workshop today, I told the people, I said, I'm the queen of questions. So, and God just has gifted me that way just to be able to, ask the right questions. And even early on in my days, I always thought about a career in journalism. And so this is really, giving me an opportunity to dive in this and writing for a few magazines that I write for. So I'm going to, we're going to sign off, but make sure that you all connect with Tony, check him out, see what he has going on, where he's going to be. Support. This is a great man of God doing honorable things in our community, and we want to push those types of men to the forefront. We want to be behind them. So, get behind Tony, and we're going to have another great guy on next week because remember, June, I am highlighting young men in our community doing awesome things, and so Dr. Terrence Duncan is going to be here with me on the next podcast, which is on the 24th, and he's also an author, and he has a very powerful message, the 4 Fifths of Holistic Health, and I probably got that last word wrong, but go to connect with me on Facebook. You can find me from Powerless to Powerful podcast, like that page, so you can see who's all in the lineup, and God is just working this vision out, y'all. I don't know nothing about radio, but God is doing this, and so just stay connected. And if you are an entrepreneur, you're an author or an artist who desires to take your business to a higher level, you need to be at my next Vision Board workshop, which is titled No Matter What. No Matter what. I'm going to help you get clear. Yes. Clarify your goals. You're going to learn how to prioritize your time and your focus and know what action steps you need to take to get you the real results you desire. So the workshop is going to be Saturday, July the 1st, and registration will open up this Monday on the 12th at CynthiaNewell.com. Sorry. And make sure, y'all, before we go, shout out a happy birthday to me. My birthday will be this upcoming Wednesday. I'm a Flag Day baby, and I'll be 41. Yeah, so just thank you so much. Yes, I'm excited. I know we need to go, but last year you were talking about adversity, but last year, I was diagnosed with stage 3 colon cancer, and God, He healed me of it. I was able to have an operation to get the malignant tumor removed. But it was just something about that experience. Now, I've always been a big lover of life and never, took things for granted. But coming through that experience, I remember the very day after the operation, I was sitting in the hospital bed and I watched the sunrise and I did a video about it's a new day. And that's how I feel in my life. It's a new day. It's time out for excuses. It's time out for who won't let you be this or, what is getting in the way. You have to stand up and demand to have, and do what it is that God has called you to do. And God will open doors. Like God blessed where that whole coaching staff got fired and Tony got his yes. Yeah. God orchestrated that. God is strategic, and so he'll do things that we can't even imagine that needs to be done. So for the big dreamers out there, keep hold to your dream. Keep pushing forward. God is working it out. He's already before you. Just keep trusting God. All right? So that's it. Tony, you enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you, Kimmy Robinson and Elation Gospel Network for having me here. And we'll see you all on the 24th.
All right.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
Lord, the way you embrace me. Lord, the way you love me.
Daddy, I love you.
Your loving kindness.
It feels so good, God. So good, so good. Cause I know that. It feels so good, God. So good, so good. Cause I know that. God, your love is so amazing. So embracing. God, I'm thankful for all you done. Even when I have done.
This is what you done for me,
You
Father.
love me through my struggle and through my pain, even through my ungratefulness. Unconditional love you bring.
Listen,
There is no greater. 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 There is no greater love than a man who would lay down his life for a friend like me. To his father he cried, hung his head and died. So you and I can live. There's no way we can repay him. That's why we have to take. All the victories, raise the blood, these blind, stay tight, Lord. There's a man who will lay down his life for me. Gave me joy, gave me hope, and gave me peace, yeah. There's no greater love, no greater love, no. Ladies, come on, woo! One life has never. Father God, I thank you. I love you. Brothers, come on, help us sisters out there, Lord. One life has never. Father God, I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you.
Listen, before I sign off, I'm gonna take a shot at this thing now.
There's no way I can repay you, Jesus. You died on the cross so that the Father could receive us. In life, we may fall down, but if we get back up, you will be there to retrieve us.